Prime Minister Mark Carney, he's on a mission to make your life more expensive in 2026 and beyond by hiking industrial carbon taxes. Now, industrial carbon taxes make your life more expensive. Mark Carney is trying to make it seem as though big businesses are just going to eat these costs and pay the carbon tax for the rest of us. But the reality is, Canadians know that carbon taxes are not just going to be eaten by big business. They're going to be passed on to we, the consumer. 85% of Canadians, according to a new Leger poll, recognize that these costs are going to be passed on, at least in part, to consumers. And 55% of Canadians say that almost all, if not all of that cost will be passed on to the consumer. That's an important reality, and that's something that Mark Carney should keep in mind as he tries to hike industrial carbon taxes in 2026 and beyond. But industrial carbon taxes are dangerous, and they're dangerous for many reasons. First of all, when you hike taxes on fertilizer, that makes food more expensive. When you hike taxes on refineries, that makes gasoline more expensive. And when you hike taxes on utilities, that makes home heating more expensive. So life is going to get more expensive because of industrial carbon taxes. Industrial carbon taxes also make Canada less competitive on the global stage. If you look at the American economy, there are lower taxes, fewer regulations, and it's just a better business environment. And US President Donald Trump is also using tariffs to try to attract Canadian businesses south of the border. Why, through industrial carbon taxes, would we give the US president yet another reason to try to convince Canadian businesses to move south of the border, or convince new businesses who are trying to decide where to set up shop in the United States? Industrial carbon taxes are simply going to make our economy less competitive. Finally, industrial carbon taxes are insidious. They are hidden, secret taxes. At least with the consumer carbon tax, you knew where you stood. You paid 17.6 cents a liter in consumer carbon taxes at the pump, and you paid on home heating, and you could look at your home heating bill and see exactly how much of your home heating bill was being made up of carbon taxes. With industrial carbon taxes, because these costs are passed through businesses, we don't exactly know where we stand, and it makes it easier for politicians to hike these taxes again and again and again. So in 2026, let us have a New Year's resolution as Canadian taxpayers. Let us have a resolution that we are going to hold the government to account and that we're going to fight industrial carbon taxes and make sure that the federal government simply does not get away with imposing higher and higher industrial carbon taxes without we Canadian taxpayers fighting back.